So you are sitting and suddenly you see, or you are walking in the footpath and suddenly you see a motorbike fellow comes and simply pushes you and goes away. From where he came and suddenly, nothing. So you think, why did this happen? Because somewhere in some birth, or maybe this birth itself, maybe 20 years back, you have done something. So that is what you have got. You have got the result. You have got the tit for tat. You have got the equal and opposite reaction of what you did. So when will this stop? This will stop only when we lose the sense of doership, the sense of agentship. I am a professor and I teach, and so nice my students are. They may be very dull fellows, but at least you will think like that they are so brilliant. So this sense of doership, that I am doing this, or I scored so much of mark, so nice grade I have got, this sense of doership is the problem. The moment you don't have doership, you can do whatever. In Manisha Panchakam, another text, small text by Shankaracharya, there towards the end, there are five stanzas. So in the end, Shankaracharya says that Sanvinmaye Pavake, the Jivan Mukta, a person who has liberated, who has got liberation in life, what he does, he surrenders himself to the Pavaka or Agni of karma, prarabdha karma. He lives only as far as the karmas which were getting exhausted, that is already they have started showing results, they are called prarabdha karma, they remain. So there are three types of karma: sanchita, agami, prarabdha. Sanchita is in deposit, agami is which is going to bear results, and prarabdha which has already started bearing results. So this prarabdha karma they will exhaust, and that sanchita and agami they will be exhausted. As soon as you get realization, sanchita and agami will be exhausted. How will it be exhausted? It is like when you burn something, like you have this effigies, all this are burnt. No? This Ravana is burnt now. So the Ravana at the end of Ram Leela is burnt. So when Ravana is burnt, the effigy will remain in the shape. But if somebody goes and just puts one finger, everything will become powder. So the shape of the effigy remains even after getting burnt. Similarly, this Sanchita karma and Agami karma which is in store will remain as though, but they are all burnt. They are become useless. They don't have any effect. But the prarabdha karma will remain. And once the prarabdha karma is over, this person will give up the body. This is the idea. So, till you have the sense of doership, agentship, or you have the sense of I, ahamkara, mamakara, mine and me and mine. You may be thinking, so like Valmiki, my wife and my children love me so much. They are only waiting for your death. You don't know this. The moment you die, they will be fighting over your property. Or they will, first thing they will ask is, where is the property, how much money has left? And if you have not left properly or nomination, you see, I mean, kotobar bollam, how many times I told, and this fellow, he did not do anything. So please ensure that you have nominated everything. Otherwise, even after death, you will have to get scolding. So, this is the point. This is the point. Ahankara, mamakara. You all know this famous story of Ratnakara, Valmiki. He was Ratnakara, a robber. And Narada came. So he was trying to rob Narada. So Narada said, okay, I have no problem, rob me. But before that, you go and ask your wife and your parents and children, etc., that are they okay with this? Are they partners to this crime? So he went and he tied Narada and he went. And then when he asked, wife said, why should I be? I want money, that's all. I want to run my family. As you are my husband, it is your bounden duty to get me means to run the family. How do you do it? That is your headache. And parents also said the same thing, children also said the same thing. Then he said, Acha, I am doing everything for these people, but in my bad karmas, they are not going to share. So if somebody is going to put me in jail, they will not come with me. I have to go alone. So he came to Narada and he said, yes, what you said was true. They are not going to be partners in the crime. Then Narada said yes. So this fellow was so steeped in crime or bad things that he could not pronounce that is what the legend says, that he could not pronounce the name Rama, so he had to be told it reverse Mara, and then he said Rama. And then he was immersed in meditation that an ant hill, Valmika, ant hill grew up over his body, and because he was in the ant hill, he was called Valmiki, and he wrote Ramayana. We all know that. So, because while you are sleeping also, you have this sense of doership.
Once a person becomes Jivan Mukta, in some time it is that he cannot do any work, even if he wanted to do. Like Ramakrishna are also said to be Gali Krishna. Once he tried to perform the Shraddha, he was not able to do. So, but on the other hand, we have the people like Raja Janak. They were doing lots of work and some other people. So, how do we make this thing?
So the work, Ramakrishna also gives explanation. He explains it in many ways. One way he says is, some people even after attaining knowledge, they keep the ego for the benefit of the world, to preach or to give for the welfare of humanity. That is why he gives two types of egos, Pakami, Kachami, ripe ego and unripe ego. And he says that Lokshikha means for the benefit of the world or for teaching humanity, they keep their ego, like Shankaracharya did. So Janaka also was one of those categories. That is why he is called Raja Rishi, a royal sage. A sage was not only a sage, but he was also a king. Raja plus Rishi. Ramakrishna cannot be, I think, put in this category because he was like Buddha, or he was in a different category. Now, Jivan Mukta is a person who is first a spiritual aspirant, and by practicing spiritual practices, he attains Jivan Mukta. Sri Ramakrishna was not like that. So this is how Tarati Shokam Atmavid. Chandogya Upanishad says that Atmavid, a person who has realized one's true self, Tarati Shokam, transcends, overcomes, goes beyond sorrow. But in this Upanishad later on we will see that why I said that how can this person get over birth and death just by doing some sacrifices. The Upanishad itself or the commentator Shankaracharya will say that later on. Then also Yama says Idyam Brahmajagnyam. Idyam means one who has to be worshipful. Idyam. Brahmajagnyam. Idyam is one who is worthy of worship, praiseworthy, adorable. And Brahmajagnyam. Brahmaja, one who is born out of Brahman, Brahma. Brahman, not Brahman, Brahma. That is the person with 4 heads. Chaturmukha Brahma. 4-faced Brahma. So this Brahma is supposed to be the creator of the universe. So this is a post actually. Like you have Home Minister, Prime Minister, Chief Minister, this is a post. So there is something called Krama Mukti, where you do not directly attain liberation, but you go to first one particular post, from there you go Indra Loka, that Loka, then finally you attain Brahma Loka. You become Brahma. For maybe 22 crore years you are Brahma. Then your post will be, your tenure will be over, then there will be no election also. You have to leave and then finally you will go up, like that. So that is Brahma. So Brahma's one that is born of Brahma means Brahma will create first a person who is called the Virat Purusha. So a person will be created first and that person will further create people. So like that, first creation of Brahma. So Brahmaja Gyam, and also Gyam. Gya means one who knows. Jnata, Jna means one who knows. So Brahmajagnya, one who is born out of Brahma, and also one who is illumined, one who knows. About whom? About oneself. One who knows means one who has got knowledge of the self. So Brahmajagnya. That is Hiranyagarbha. So there is one anecdote about Hiranyagarbha. One Swami, we had a Swami who was the president of also Ramakrishna mission. So he had gone to give lecture. That time he was not the president, he had gone to give lecture in one place, and then he had come. In the ashrama, some people had come to debate with him. Some pandits, scholars, they had come to debate with him. And they were talking in a visitor's room or a room like that. And nearby the room, some other sadhus were sitting and hearing, overhearing or eavesdropping. Now, they were asking all difficult questions, and the argument was going on in Sanskrit. So they were thinking, they were all praying that Maharaj should win. They were all doing japa, that Maharaj should win. And they should not cut a sorry face, we should save the face. And finally, the Pandit, he turned the question to Hiranyagarbha, the concept of Hiranyagarbha. What is Hiranya? Hiranya in Sanskrit means gold, golden. Garbha means, it can mean womb, or in this case, it can also mean egg, because egg also in one way it is a womb. From egg only the whatever creature comes. It is, so this is Dvija, it is also called Dvija. Things which are born out of egg are called Dvija. Twice born. How twice born? First the egg is born, and then from egg the creature is born. So Hiranyagarbha is like a big egg, golden egg, from which the whole creation comes out. So the Pandit, they turned the topic to Hiranyagarbha. So immediately all the Swamis stopped japa. Why? Because now Hiranyagarbha, this is the field where our Swamiji is expert. So, this incident is regarding Bhuteshanandaji. So they left the japa and said, now Maharaj will manage, there is no problem, because he is expert as far as Hiranyagarbha is concerned. So Hiranyagarbha, from there the person who is born is called Virat. These are all allegorical statements, metaphors used in the scripture to give an idea of creation. Give an idea. You may think, what is this all nonsense? So it is an allegory made to give an idea of creation. In Vedanta, we believe in the concept of evolution and involution. Creation is not a linear process. It's a cyclical process. In Vedanta, creation is a cyclical process. There is evolution, then there is involution. Then again evolution, involution. It is not that on a fixed time, on a fixed date and a fixed hour, God decided to create the universe. It's not like that. So this is the difference. And Virat is omniscient. Omniscient means knowing everything. One who knows everything. Omnipresent means one who is present everywhere. Omnipotent means one who can do anything. Omniscient. So Brahmajagnyam Devam Viditva. So this Virat Purusha, this first person, having known Devam. Devam means Devam from the word Div, from the root Div. Div means light. Now, Devam means one who is resplendent or full of light. The word Devas comes from this, means full of light. Light. So Devam. So having known this, Devam means having known Brahman, having known Atman, having known that who is idiom. Now here Atman has been given a position of a god. There it has been personified. The concept of Brahman has been given a form. It has been personified. Bhaktas will say Vishnu. What is Vishnu? Vishnu is nothing but a personification of Brahman. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So particularly in Sri Krishna, in Karnataka. Oh, wonderful. This is gone. It has to be again switched on. I don't know why it has switched off. Got it switched off. No, computer ta switch off হয়ে গেছে. পাওয়ার নেই নাকি? তাহলে আমার মনে হয় এটা অটো শাটডাউন কিছু আছে নাকি? ও হাইবারনেট হয়ে গেছে এটা. So what was I talking about? Personification. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. In Karnataka, if you go, there is a place called Udupi, and there is something called Ashtamathas. There are 8 monasteries which are Vaishnavite monasteries. There are so many kinds of Vaishnavism in India. This is called Madhva Vaishnavism, or it is yes, Madhva Vaishnavism. So this is Madhva Sampradaya. So they have 8 matas, and out of those 8 matas, by turns, the head of one mata will become the super pontiff of all the 8 matas. So like that. So there they believe that Krishna is the final Lord. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. One of the matas there is called Krishna Matha. So Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So what is this Krishna? Krishna is nothing but the embodiment of Brahman, the personification of Brahman. That is why in Jayadeva's Dashavatara Stotra, if you go to the Indian Museum, you will find a wonderful sculpture. All the 10 avatars as told by Jayadeva. Jayadeva Dashavatara Stotra is there. How many of you have heard or listened to this? What is that stotra? How does it start? It is part of Gita Govindam. Jayadeva Dashavatara Stotra. So in that Dashavatara Stotra, he talks about 10 avatars. There he has included Buddha, and he has not included Krishna. The logic being that Krishna is Bhagavan himself. Krishnastu, and that is from where you get this. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is Bhagavan himself. So Krishna is taking these avatars. It's not Vishnu, Krishna. So in this Indian museum you will see a wonderful sculpture where these avatars have been shown in the reverse order. First is Kalki, then like that, Buddha like that, in that reverse order, and there is no Krishna. Krishnastu Pralaya Payodi Jale. This is how that Dashavatara Stotra starts. Now, here Virat is knowing this Brahman which has been given the embodiment of Deva, resplendent, full of light, Jyotirmaya. And how does one person become full of light? Like we have, if we get an idea, immediately one bulb will be there, this bulb. So you see, light means knowledge. A person becomes full of light or resplendent, Jyotirmaya, that's why we say illumined. The very idea illumined, the root is lumin, means light, luminosity. This is even in Latin and Greek and French. You have the same word pattern like in Sanskrit. You have one root word, and from that root many words are derived. So this thing is luminosity, lumen, that is the root. And from there you get this illumined, means one who has become full of light. How? By knowing, knowledge. So this Deva, because he has known the ultimate truth, he is become illumined or full of light. And you, the person who does all these kinds of karmas and does this Nachiketa sacrifice and has 3 types of conjunction tribhi sandhi, sandhibhi. All these things one who does, that person, nichaya, and also who meditates on this Virat, the Virat who has understood this Deva. How does he meditate? He meditates, he considers this Virat as one's own self. As oneself. He meditates. And that person becomes Atyantam Eti Imam Shantim. The person who does like this, he Atyantam. Atyantam means without any remaining portion. Means without anything which is remaining. Completely. Ashesha is another word. Means without any remaining portion. Remainder. Completely. A person attains eti, this Imam Shantim. He attains to the ultimate peace. How do you get the peace? By withdrawal from objects which give you suffering. In the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, it is told that whenever your mind deviates from the desired, the object of meditation, from every time you bring that object, your mind again and fix it on the object of meditation. Suppose you are meditating and your mind tries to go away, run away. Chanchala, it is restless mind, it tries to run away. So, whenever your mind is trying to run away, you bring back the mind and fix it on the object of meditation. So, that way you get calm, you get ultimate peace. So, we do this peace chants or Shanti Pata, Adhideivika, Adhibhautika, Adhyatmika, suffering, 3 types of suffering. And from this suffering we want to be free, and that we get once you understand yourself as the Atman. So the idea is that by karma and jnana, done in that particular order or in sequence, you get the knowledge of Virat, or you get the knowledge, or you attain to the state of Virat. What is Virat? Virat is nothing but the manifested state of Brahman. The manifestation of Brahman is called Virat. Manifestation of Brahman is called Virat. So, you do this. That is why in Vedas first there is Karma Kanda and then Jnana Kanda. So first that is why here also first it is told of Nachiketa sacrifice. In Ishavasya Upanishad also you will see that first 8 chapters of that particular Veda talk of karma, and then 9th chapter Ishavasya Upanishad starts. Similarly, here also first about the karmas it is discussed, and then you are going into knowledge portion where you are taught about the nature of yourself. What is the necessity of doing it like this? Why should you first talk about karma and then go first talk about sacrifice and then talk about the knowledge part? What is the necessity? Can anyone tell me?
To purify the mind, that karma, niskama karma,
Mm.
after that, the purification, because of purification of mind, that other gyan and all this.
What, anybody else? Any other perspective?
Without karma, this wall cannot turn.
Huh?
Without karma, with only knowledge, the wall cannot turn.
Okay.
But without the, natural tendency is to do, to be engaged in things, and suddenly ask us to.
Nobody is bothered about the world moving, but the thing is that as in Bhagavad Gita Krishna says that no one can stay even a moment without doing any action. So it's our tendency, innate tendency to do karma. So
Is it prarabdha then?
no, it's not prarabdha. Because the scripture also is talking about karma. If it was only prarabdha, it would have been at the individual level. Why should the scripture talk about the karma? So in fact, prarabdha comes because of karma. So the idea is that it is the general tendency of a person, an individual, to engage in action. And if you go still deeper, why is this tendency there? It's a tendency, of course, but why does this tendency come? Because of adhyasa, because of ajnana, because of ignorance, because of considering yourself as a doer. Again, you go back to the same point.
Because of desire.
Why does the desire come? Because you consider yourself as this body and mind. This body-mind complex, this association with this body and mind, considering yourself as an agent, as a doer, makes you ignorant of your true self. Makes you ignorant of your true self.
But Swami, if we give our doership, we cannot do any work and we cannot perform our duties, which is another scene in terms.
The very idea of duty, as Swami Vivekananda would say, is a slavish idea. And why do you want to perform works? What is the goal of performing works? To attain your own, to understand your own true nature. If you have understood that, why do you need to perform works? And as I said earlier, whatever prarabdha karma you are, there are only two options. One is that you attain knowledge and then you have some actions remaining and that will be taken care of by themselves. By the force of those actions, it will happen. And the second thing is, if you become a prophet, we don't know. If Neeraj becomes a prophet, Swami Neerajananda, something like that. So you will see that after attaining knowledge, you keep an ego for teaching for the welfare of humanity. Bahujana Sukhaya, Bahujana Hitaya. This is the idea. So these are some reasons why first actions are talked about. And the other reason is, education is taking you from what you know to what you don't know. So we all are in the midst of action. We know about action. If you see Gita also, Arjuna does not say that don't go for war, don't go to the battlefield. He says, okay, do the battle. Go, war, wage a war. He does not say, Arjuna originally wanted to fight a war. So when he went there and he had performance issues, so he said, okay, fight. He cleared that. He did some counseling and made it all right. Then he talks about jnana. Finally, in the 18th chapter, he will say, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shucha. Do not grieve. Leave all things and just hold on to me. Aham tva sarva papebhyo. I will remove you from all papas, means actions, all the samskaras. And mokshayishyami, I will free you, liberate you. Ma shucha, do not grieve, do not be afraid, do not be worried or anxious. So, from the battlefield, Krishna, using a logical process, takes him to the highest realization. That is the idea here also. Because we are in the midst of action. Now suddenly if you say, a person who is in the midst of action, suddenly you say that don't do any work, that person will become mad. Psychologically also it is not possible. So slowly you ask that person to give up. By making that person do actions which are good. So that person was maybe doing some bad actions, you say that do charity, you do Vedic rituals, etc. And slowly make that person to evolve himself or herself, and from there take to the highest philosophy. Now here again he says, what would be the, now Yama again gives the different results of performing this Nachiketa Yajna. He says that one who performs 3 Nachiketas trayametat viditva ya evam vidvams chinute Nachiketam samrityupashan purata pranodya shokatigo modate swargaloke. Yaha, one 3 Nachiketa who has thrice performed the Nachiketa sacrifice. Now we saw the interpretation. Thrice means it can be 3 steps. First knowing about the sacrifice, then studying the sacrifice, then performing the sacrifice. Or it can be performing the sacrifice 3 times. So Vidwan etad trayam viditva. One who becomes knowledgeable, knower. How? By knowing these three factors. What are the three factors? Nachiketa Yajna. Yama taught Nachiketa three things. What are the category of bricks to be used, number of bricks to be used, and the way it should be arranged for the fire. These are the three things he taught. So the three things a person who will know, and also perform the Nachiketa sacrifice 3 times, and Nachiketa evam chinute. He performs this Nachiketa sacrifice 3 times. Puratah mrityu pashan. Sa puratah mrityu pashan pranodya. When he goes in front of death, puratah means front of death. So you know this, all of you know, but I will just remind you. Puratah. When you use this word, suddenly one anecdote comes to mind. That is, there was Kalidasa. Who was he? Someone from that quarter knows sound this today. What happened? Either you were waking up till late yesterday, so feeling sleepy.
Wait. He was a poet.
Where?
In the court of
Vikramaditya. So Vikramaditya's Navaratna, 9 gems. One was Kalidasa. So Kalidasa, there are so many things about Kalidasa we know. And almost in every language there are films also on Kalidasa. So Kalidasa, if you have not read any of his works, you can read. Wonderful. So Kalidasa, he was in the court of Vikramaditya, one of the Navaratnas. In that same court, there was another person called Vararuchi, who was a grammarian. He was a grammarian. Vyakarana vid means expert in grammar. Now suddenly Vararuchi, he always, people who have intellectual attainments, they have also jealousy. Everywhere it is there. It is our, Swamiji says, jealousy is the bane of our nation. It is the curse of our nation. And I have already told you, all of you know about the great Indian crab story, no? Crab story.
Oh, yes.
You don't know? How many of you don't know? And how many of you know? So someone who can know, you tell me the story. Great Indian crab story. Some people don't know.
Yeah, the crab story goes like this. I mean, somebody has a consignment of crabs from Calcutta. It's going to say Australia, Melbourne port. So the consignment reached, and the people found that the box is, it was going in a box. The box is broken. Then the fellow is saying, oh God, all the crabs might have strayed away because the box is broken. But he is surprised when the box was taken out from the container. He found all the crabs are there. What happened? One crab is trying to climb up, is pulling it down.
So that is the great Indian crab story. So jealousy is the, so Vararuchi got jealous of Kalidasa. Every time Kalidasa, he said, "Whoa, what is so great about Kalidasa? I am also after all I am a grammarian, and this fellow is only a poet. He has to follow my grammar only. So I am a grammar." Vararuchi has also written some tikas on Patanjali Mahabhashya. That is the main Ashtadhyayi. Panini's Ashtadhyayi is the main text for grammar in Sanskrit. And on that there is a big commentary, Mahabhashya, great commentary by Patanjali. And on that there are many tikas or gloss. And one such gloss has been written by Vararuchi. So Vararuchi says, this fellow follows my grammar, and why make so much big fuss of Kalidasa? So Vikramaditya said, okay, so we will have a test. So Vikramaditya was walking and with Vararuchi, and he said, what is it? He saw a piece of log, wood in front of him, and he said, okay, Vararuchi, you were telling that you are a great poet, compose something on this. So immediately Vararuchi said, Shushkam kashtam tishtati agre. Shushkam kashtam tishtati agre. Shushkam means dry, kashtam means wood, tishtati means is there. Tishtati can be used in the sense of sitting, but it is lying there. Agre means in front. So I said, okay, fine. Then he asked Kalidasa to compose something, say something in Sanskrit about that. So he said, Nirasa taruvara purata bhage. Nirasa means without rasa, means without juice, means dry. Taruvara means again wood, piece of wood. Purata means in front, bhage. But you see the sweetness of what Vararuchi said, Shushkam kashtam tishtati agre. And this is Nirasa taruvara purata bhage. So poetic. So you see, this is the difference between you and Kalidasa. So like that, purata means in front of. When in front of you, that person, one who has done this Nachiketa sacrifice and has understood this Nachiketa sacrifice, what kinds of bricks should be used, how many bricks should be used and how it should be arranged, and that person has performed this Nachiketa sacrifice, when death will come, when confronted with death, when death will come in front of that person, what will he do? Mrityu pashan pranodya. He will destroy what? Mrityu pasha. Now the image of death in Indian mythology is what? Death comes with what? What is the vahana of death? Buffalo. So be careful every time you see a buffalo. So buffalo is the vahana of death, and rope. Mrityu pasha means rope. So pasha, the mrityu, the rope of Yama, death. So mrityu pashan pranodya. Pranodya means destroying. He will destroy. Not that death will destroy him, he will destroy death's ropes. This we find in Markandeya. The story of Markandeya, when he was supposed to die, when he was 16 years, right? When was Markandeya supposed to die? How many of you know the story of Markandeya? Great.
Some extent, I will not the exact know, but can't remember.
Okay. Searching, dot.
No, heard.
Heard. So, yes, what is the story?
He was son of Markandeya and he was supposed to die at a very young age.
16 years.
16 years. But then then he told his father, don't worry, he was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. So he did tapasya.
So when he was going to be born, the astrologer said that, what do you want? Do you want a son who is dull and who will live long, or you want a son who is very bright and will live short, only 16 years? So they opted for the second alternative. And then Markandeya was born. And Markandeya went on, there is one Markandeya Stotra also for Shiva. So he went on praying or meditating on Shiva. And finally, when Yama came and threw the rope on Markandeya, so the rope got powdered. Why? Because Shiva was there. He protected. And Markandeya was, it seems, embracing the Shiva Linga. So like that, there are variations of this. But Markandeya Purana has got the account. Now similarly, so the Mrityu Pashan, the figure of the image of Yama is with buffalo, with this Mrityu Pasha, the noose. That is what? Noose of death. Rope with that noose. In Scout Guide, they teach you how to make knot. So somebody is running, you make a knot and it goes and just catches the leg of the person and that person will fall. Like that. There are so many knots. So some knots you can just do like this and the knot will go away. Many of you may know. So this noose of death will be destroyed by such a person. Shokatigo. And not only that, such a person will transcend grief. Swargaloke modate. And he will attain Swargaloka. He will go to Swarga. Now again you see the scripture is talking about attaining a loka. It is talking about performing some sacrifice. These are all in the realm of duality. How can I go to some place? Only when there is duality, one person can go to a place. So everything is in the realm of duality. If there is duality, there will be suffering. So how is that scripture is telling that this person will shokati go? He will overcome grief. So this is again Arthavada. It is, this person is being mentally prepared for the highest knowledge. That is what will come later on. Then it is told, Esha te Agni Nachiketa Swargyo Yam Yama Vrinita live a life which is called the mundane life, Gatanugatik. So we live a life where we have an education, we are born, we have education, and then we try to have a career, and then if a man will get a beautiful wife or not so beautiful, a woman will get a beautiful husband or handsome or not so handsome, but somehow they settle, so-called settlement of life, have some children, create more confusion, and then also try to create some wealth and purchase this. Then if you have something, you purchase more and go on, and finally you are retired, and then you were expecting that the son or daughter will look after you, they don't care about you. So anyway, then you are disillusioned, and then you either end up in an old age home, or you are old age and you have your own home. So that is also kind of old age home. So anyway, then you have to appoint some cook, and that cook will take away check leaves from your, it's all huge suffering, and finally you die. After you die, these people will start quarreling about your property. This is the regular phenomenon. Everyone knows this. All of us are intelligent. Some people are bureaucrats, IAS, IPS, IIT, IIM, III. Everywhere I is there, you see. The problem is not living. More stress on I. So IAS, IIM, IPS, IIT, everywhere full of I. All of us know we are all not dull. But what? Like Duryodhana said, I know, but I can't. I know that what I am doing is wrong, but I can't help myself. Ravana says, I know this is the Lord, I know who is Sita, but I can't. Nothing can be done. This is my habit. No, nothing can be done. So you see, this is our predicament. We know that if you eat pizza, let it be from Pizza Hut or Domino's, whatever, your calories is going to increase, cholesterol will increase, you will have a tummy, and how much ever you use treadmill. So some people are there, they go on 1 hour in the morning in treadmill, evening 1 hour in treadmill, and after having the treadmill they will take something, because after all they have did so much of exercise. So what happens is, instead of the weight reducing, it is only increasing. So we know that this you should not take. We know that you should not eat ice cream, but can't control. This is very difficult to control. So we all know that if I do like this, I will be in problem. If I marry, I will have to have children, and the children will one day neglect me, not look after me. But still we somehow feel that my children will not be like that. My children will look after me. Like Yudhishthira's statement, what is the greatest surprise? That I see people dying around me every day. They all go Yamalayam, they go to the abode of Yama. But somehow I am very confident that I will not go. So that is the predicament. So we all know that doing actions will not lead me to anything. But still we are doing actions. Still we want. If somebody is made, suppose an increment is given of 1,000 rupees, they want 2,000 rupees. A problem for HR management. If the 4,000 rupees increment is given, they want still 10,000 rupees. So there is no limit. What happened to Yayati? So Yayati, who was Yayati?
He was the king of the lunar dynasty.
So he lived for 1,000 years. And he had so many wives. And he was enjoying. Then he said, you see, this fellow so cruel. He said, when he was about to die, he told his son, you give me your age. I cannot die. You die. You die. So it's like people nowadays, there is a person is 70 years old, kidney transplant, getting kidney from 30 years person. What is this? How can you ever do that? You are about to die 70 years, maybe another 10 years. Why do you debilitate a person of 30 years age? So this kind of behavior. So he took another 1,000 years, but he did not find any peace. You will not get peace. Your mind will become in pieces. It will be in pieces. So that is the idea. So he says that
Swami, these movements or actions are going on because of temporary pleasure. Pleasure is there, but it is because temporary.
in the case of Yayati says that it is like what? It is like putting ghee into the fire. You take one mango, you like another mango. Though you have diabetes, you know, if you take one mango, a diabetic, if you take one mango, it is equivalent to 50 units of sugar. Do you know that? We actually did this experiment on one Swami. He had diabetes and he loved mangoes. So before coming to Advaita Ashram, I was in Vrindavan. So the Swami is there. So because it is a hospital center, we said, okay, check your sugar before you take mango and after you take mango. So 50 units it increased. One mango is 50 units of sugar. But what? It's so nice, Alfonso. So we will take. We will take the mango and so K.C. Das, take Rasagulla. And you have diabetic Rasagulla. Diabetic Rasagulla also has got calorie. The calorie value will not go anywhere. So this is what? We can't help ourselves. So they say, Yama is now starting that conversation. He is saying, Esha te Agni. Now, Nachiketa Esha te Swargya Agni. This is your Agni because he has named it after Nachiketa, Nachiketa Agni. They say, this is your Agni. Swargya means which leads to heaven. One Agni which leads to heaven. Dvitiyena varena avrinitaha. And Vrinisha is telling Vrinisha, Varam Vrinishva means you ask some Vara and choose. Vrinishva means choose. So Avrinita, you have chosen this in the second Vara. And Janasa etam Agni tava eva namna pravaksyanti. And people, Janasa, people will call this Agni by your name. So you see, you have become a brand ambassador. Now people will call this Agni by your name. So that is the extra boon, offer. And Nachiketa Atha. So now I have given you this Agni knowledge. I have named it after you as an extra offer and everything is over. Now you please ask me the second boon and please leave me, make me free. I have so much work to do. That is the idea. Because Yama, how much he can talk? So, okay, please make me free, give me this, let us finish this work. Tritiyam Vara Vrinishva. Now please choose the third Vara. This Nachiketa is... Huh? Next class. No, you are also... Okay. Next class. So Nachiketa is going to ask some Vara. Now, anybody has any questions? Yes.
You talked about Puranas and creation. If you see Puranas also contradict each other. Like you take Srimad Bhagavata. It will tell like Vishnu was there, then Brahma came out. Then Shiva come out from the Rudra Brahma. If you take Shiva Purana, then it will tell like Shiva is Ananta. And then Vishnu and Brahma, they came out and they copied each other like who is greater like that.
So Puranas are all basically Purana. They are all accounts of old times. Historical, you can call them historical novels. So that is just, they are helpful for you to understand some concepts which are told in the scriptures. But these things you cannot take from the Purana. You have to just take them with a pinch of salt. And for creation, how creation has come, etc., you have to go to the scriptures, Vedas. Either Brihadaranyaka Upanishad or Chandogya Upanishad, there this creation process has been explained. And there it is explained as this involution and evolution. So first there is Srishti, then there is Pralaya. That is how it is explained. Puranas, there are so many things which you cannot accept. Because Purana is also Smriti, it is not Shruti. So if it comes in contradiction with Shruti, you have to discard it.
Then what is the use of going through Puranas?
They are useful to elucidate or make simple certain concepts which are given in the Vedas. So these concepts, like they are like popular science books. You see, if you go to popular science books, these books cannot be depended as scientific material, is it not? But they help you to understand some concepts or to understand some ideas. So this is a popular science book. Some people also write novels based on popular science. Like this Michael Crichton, he wrote this novel Timeline, which is based on multiverse. But that is not a physics paper on multiverse. If you want to understand about multiverse, you will have to go to a physicist. Like that. It gives you an idea. It just gives you an idea and helps you understand certain things which have been talked of in Vedas. No other question? Okay, so now why is that karma has been explained in the beginning? Why is... What do you mean by death?
Free from cycle of birth.
Death.
No more births.
No, death. What is the meaning of death?
Termination of our association with this body.
Huh?
Termination of our association
With the body.
with this body.
With the body. Another some definition? Bond.
To get rid of the doership.
Doership. You have to think that you are not the doer. Very simple.
Is it that simple?
That.
No, if
Huh?
you identify the real truth of the self,
Huh.
it will automatically clear the wisdom.
Yes. So if you, like Sri Ramakrishna says, the more you go towards the north, south becomes farther. So the moment you understand that you are not this body, mind, etc., immediately you start identifying yourself with Atman. That is the only way you can do away with the sense of doership or agentship, by identifying yourself with the Atman. If you are a devotee, you are not a person, a jnani temperament, then what you can do is you identify yourself with God as this is the will of Rama, or I am the devotee of Rama. So I am not doing anything, it is God who is doing it. So death also means ignorance, death means bondage, death means darkness. All these are different definitions of death. And also death means the cessation of association with this body. And death also means that you have just left one birth and you are going to second birth. It's also a passing phase. Now death means all these things. In the next class we will see why this is necessary. Death, what is death, and death why is very important to understand what is death, because Nachiketa will be popping up this question that what happens after death. That is a very interesting question even today to all kinds of people. So what happens after death? This is the question of Katha Upanishad. Okay, thank you.
Swamiji, all the religions they believe and all the, like the Muslim and do they believe in rebirth?
No. Rebirth is believed only by Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism and Hinduism.
Not even Christian.
No. Shintoism and Taoism also. And I think Confucianism. These religions, they believe in rebirth. Basically Eastern religions. All Semitic religions or religions which are Abrahamic religions, they don't believe in rebirth. Islam, Christianity, they don't believe in rebirth. There is no rebirth, there is only Judgment Day, which in Islam is called Qayamat, and in Christianity is called Judgment Day. So all people, that is why they don't cremate the body, they only bury the body. So that at the final day of judgment, God will come and everyone will have to answer about one's deeds, and everyone will get up and they will answer.
Then after that they take the kind of parts of
No birth, there is no rebirth. No, that will happen after death. Hell or heaven will happen death, but after judgment day they will go to God.
So then it becomes a partial proposition of particular religion that there is rebirth.
No, there is lot of logic behind. If you study Swamiji's Jnana Yoga, there he explains why rebirth is very logical. But this is one thing which is very difficult for non-Indians or people who are from the Western traditions to understand. Rebirth somehow they cannot accept. And to understand rebirth, and that is one advantage of people who come from Eastern traditions. Because even a person who is not, believing in religion or who is not philosophically trained, for an Indian, rebirth is, in the language it is there. Is janma nahi to agle janam mein. Even in film music, janam janam ka saath hai. So you see, this is so ingrained into the culture that you can't do anything.
And in Christianity, after death, what is?
Same, Judgment Day. In Christianity, it is called Judgment Day. Actually, Christianity and Islam has come from Christianity. Islam has come from Christianity. You have the same story, everything is same, only with little minor changes here and there. That is what Prophet Muhammad did. That's why they are called Abrahamic religions. They trace their source to Abraham. Same Moses is there in Christianity also, Islam also. Adam and Eve is there in Christianity and Islam. But some differences. There is no eternal damnation in Islam. So some differences are there.
They come from Quran.
Yes. One very big misconception about Quran is, which Swami Vivekananda also points out, people think that according to Quran, women have no soul. But it is not written anywhere in Quran. Have no soul. No, not interpretation. It is a wrong idea. No Islam scholar, at least those whom I have met, tell this. They don't say this. Of course, Islam has many things which will be difficult for you to gulp down. But the point is, you have to remember that these are all, basically Islam is considered a tribal religion. When Islam grew, the area where it originated, that was a tribe. So we have to understand this. We have to put them in perspective. Even in Vedas you find they want horses, they want cows, etc. There are prayers where horse, cows and all are wanted. So there is some, you have to put them in that particular context and understand.
No, in the religion, there are two aspects. One part is the philosophy and another is the ritualistic part. I don't know, maybe in Quran, the way it is presented, it's more on...
In Hinduism, what has happened is, our Shruti and Smriti, that is the conduct, laws of conduct, that is called Smriti. And Shruti is the eternal principles, which are Vedas. They are clearly defined. They are different. There is no confusion. But in Quran, they are all in the same book. That is why there is some problem. But of course, people who know how to interpret, it all depends on, you see, people can quote, fundamentalists will quote Vedas also, they will quote Bible, they will quote, you have fundamentalists in every religion. So, in fact, this is one of the areas where I am working, that the cause of religious unrest is the difference in interpretation of religious texts. This is a big sociological thing, that the way you interpret religious texts, Ramanuja, there is an interesting incident. Ramanuja, he was learning Vedanta from his guru. Before he propounded philosophy, he was a true student. And there is a word called Kapyasam, like that, in this thing, the Vedanta Sutras. So that was being taught to him. So the translation given is the buttocks of monkey. Kapi Asam, that is the translation given. So read as the buttocks of monkey. So now he got so dejected, so sorry and so sad that he started crying. Tears fell from his eyes. That he said that no, this is not the interpretation how it should be. This is not the interpretation. Then he did some other interpretation. I am not able to remember it now. You remember? Some other, which Kapi actually can be interpreted in a different way, that he did, and he said this is the meaning which should come here. The idea is that you can even, like for example, Aja. Aja means unborn according to Shankaracharya. But Ramanuja did not believe in that. Ajatavada. That is, Atman is unborn. Ramanuja did not have this, he did not belong to that school of thought. So what he did is he made Aja a goat. Aja means goat. Aja also another meaning is goat. So you see the same word can be, this is the problem with Hebrew. Most of the Christian languages.
In Gita it is clearly written that Atma cannot be born or cannot be killed. So then why Ramanuja is not accepting that?
No, he is accepting that. But in that particular place he will say that Aja is goat. So you see Hebrew or also Hebrew or Greek, Latin, these all old languages, they can be interpreted in many ways. Arabic also. All Sanskrit